did. Sorry. 5:31, call to order on April 21st, 2026. We have a quorum, Mr. Stroh, Ms. McFarland, Mr. Nava, myself, Mr. Porter, Dr. Ball, and Ms. Zimmerman are absent. Have you heard?
They will be here, they're not here yet.
We're gonna miss them.
Okay. Are there any public comment on closed session items? Let's Welcome. I'd like to call to order the April 21st board meeting and reconvene. Roll call. Everybody is present. Our student representatives for their final night. It's like yay and sad for you. Samantha Lemonero from McNair and Lucas Crowder, Lodi High. Thank you. I would like to call and welcome, and Mr. Young, it's not on here. Oh, there we go. Major Jennifer Jones to join us.
Good evening. I'm Major Jones, and I'm going to introduce you to Cadet Master Sergeant Poe to lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to report on closed session items tonight. A conference with legal counsel, case 669008. Motion made by Dr. Ball. Second by Ms. McFarland. Vote 7-0 in a rejection. Conference with legal counsel, claim 670875. Motion made by Mr. Stroh, seconded by Dr. Ball. Vote 7-0 to approve. And next, as we go through, Mr. Dawson, here you were standing there and then you may just sit down and get back up. If you would, please, for our spotlight tonight.
Of course. Good evening, Board President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young. I am pleased tonight to place a spotlight on the Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, Ronald E. McNair High School. And to start the spotlight, I want to bring up Mr. Colvert, our principal.
Good evening, President Alexander, members of the board, and Superintendent Young. The Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, or JROTC program, cultivates citizenship, service, and personal responsibility. Per the Army, cadets take lessons designed with collaboration, reflection, and critical thinking in mind. Content areas cover leadership, wellness, and geography, as well as history, communication, and emotional intelligence. Cadets also participate in volunteer activities, competitions, and physical fitness challenges, as well as attending a military ball. Our program undergoes evaluations from the Army to ensure we are meeting their progress and standards for our cadets and instructors. McNair's JROTC program has recently come under the umbrella of CTE. We have also added more classes and saw A through G credit. This wouldn't have been possible without the work of our instructors, Major Jennifer Jones and First Sergeant D'Angelo Bergen. I would like to introduce them to you now as they present more about our program.
President Alexander, Superintendent Young, and members of the board, I'm Major Jennifer Jones, and we're going to do a spotlight tonight on our cadets in the program and a little bit about our program.
Good evening all. I'm Sergeant First Class Bergen, and
You guys can come up. Next slide. This is the Cadet Creed. The Cadet Creed is what the cadets read on a daily basis. It emphasizes loyalty, accountability, and commitment, and they're going to recite the Cadet Creed for you.
The Cadet Creed.
The Cadet Creed. I am Army Junior ROTC Cadet. I always conduct
cadets is we teach them the characteristics of leadership through the Army acronym of leadership as you see displayed on the board. These values are the basis for building trust in relationships.
Hello everyone, I am Lieutenant Colonel Mezzi. I am a third year at Vigneer. I've been in the program for 3 years, and today I'll be talking about loyalty. Loyalty means for respect the U.S. Constitution and its laws, loyalty to the program and sticking through the tough transitions, and show faithfulness. But also for me, it means also being there for our peers and cadets, and showing that even though through their tough times, you're always there to be with them, regardless of the situation, and then when you're in your tough times, they have your back, and you always be there for each other. Thank you.
Good evening, I am Cadet Master Sergeant Poe. Today I'll be talking to you about duty. Duty is to carry out the requirements of your job, meet professional standards, and fulfill your legal and moral obligations. To me, duty is to fulfill a task given to you at hand, whether it is easy, intermediate, or difficult. Duty is also moral-wise to help others, push them up, and have their back. Thank you.
Good evening, I am Cadet Captain Becerra, and I will be going over respect. Respect is recognizing the dignity of all human beings and demonstrating consideration for others. But to me, respect is showing that you care for the people in your community and cadets in our program. It is also treating others how they should be treated. Even doing simple things like showing the first year cadets how to do simple facing movements is just showing them respect and showing them that you care.
Good evening. I am Cadet Corporal Mejias, and I'll be talking to you about selfless service. Selfless service is to focus on your priorities on service to your community, place the needs of the organization above personal gain. To me, selfless service is prioritizing the community and put our needs or wants aside and help others who need it. An example of this is when we went to visit the veterans at the Commons at Thornton. There we listened to the veterans talk about what they had gone through, and I learned that some of them don't have people that go see them, and it was selfless of us to go visit them since they don't have anyone sometimes. So, thank you.
Good evening, I am Cadet Commander Larios, and I'm here to provide you with honor. The value of honor provides the motive for action, adhere and identify with the public code of professional values. But to me, honor is proving yourself worthy of respect. It is the act of not only respecting yourself, but also holding respect and responsibility for those who are below you and those who are above you. For example, when we went to JCLC in San Luis Obispo, I made sure that every single cadet in the Eagles Battalion held themselves to a high enough standard to be a leader, and made sure the uniforms were perfect and that they not only had fun, but they also made a good example of us. Honor is a very high standard that's been held in our nation. The highest military award is the Medal of Honor, in which it shows how high honor is held in our country. To have honor is to not only just go by what leadership is, but it is also incorporating leadership in every living, breathing action you do as either a cadet, a soldier, or another person entirely. Thank you for your time.
Integrity. I am Cadet Sergeant First Class Tao, and I will be going over integrity. Integrity possesses a high standard of moral values and principles, such as good moral judgment, demonstrate constant moral behavior. For me, integrity is being honest to yourself, your community, and your school. That's all I have.
Good evening. It feels good to be back up here. Personal courage. To take responsibility for decisions and actions, conquer fear and physical and moral contexts. To me, personal courage is being put outside of your comfort zone and doing stuff that makes you feel uncomfortable sometimes. For example, when I first joined the program, I was a first-year cadet, and I was put into a leadership position where at first it felt weird, but I got the hang of it because I was pushed outside of my comfort zones. It was nice to meet everyone, to have a second family, and do stuff that I wouldn't normally do by myself, but with the help of others, I was able to do those things. Thank you.
President Alexander, Superintendent Young, and members of the board, just a few highlights of the program over the last 2 years. The board approved the LET 3 and 4 curriculum, which is a blessing because that now gives the cadets the 4-year experience of the program. We got the board to approve the G designation, which, that attracts the college-bound students. JRTC is now under the CTE umbrella, and since a short amount of time, CTE has provided us tremendous amount of support. It's very helpful when we're trying to build up the program. We did get the JRTC stipend approved by LEA. JCLC this year was very successful in San Luis Obispo, 4 days, and we were with 7 other schools. Most of them were in Manteca Unified. There was Ripon, Manteca, Western Ranch, most of Manteca Unified schools. It was a very good experience for the cadets, very, very well, very safe, and we came back, everybody's safe and sound. And this is the first year we're hosting our military ball, the Enchanted Forest, and that's going to be on Saturday at Hutchins Street Square. And the other thing I just wanted to add is because we are very honored to be here today in the spotlight, we would be in our military uniforms, but we have a freeze right now for all the cadets. They're not allowed to wear the uniform in public because of some of the things that have been taking place. So we're on hold as far as wearing the uniforms out in public. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
Good evening, and as far as looking ahead, we look to continue to grow the numbers of incoming and returning JROTC cadets and to rebuild the program over the next few years. Other thing that we want to do is to continue to educate everyone as far as within the district and the school administrators what JROTC is in order to create a positive perception of JROTC at Ronald McNair High School. We also want to have the cadet enrollment above 100 by school year 26-27, and we also have an upcoming JPA, which is an inspection from Cadet Command in the school year 26-27. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Major Jones. Thank you, Sergeant Bergen. And thank you, Board, for allowing us to put a spotlight on McNair.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Next, on behalf of the Lodi Unified School Board of Education, Mr. Young, would you like to recognize our wonderful student ambassadors?
Yes, both to Lucas and Samantha. It wasn't that long ago that we were meeting in my office in the summer, preparing for this school year. And as often the case, a year goes by very fast, especially a senior year. So we have mixed emotions. We're happy for you that your TK-12 experience is quickly coming to an end, yet we're sad because it means that another school year has gone by. So as is our tradition, both the board and myself, we want to thank you for your selfless service. You gave up time that other students were at home doing something other than serving at a board meeting. Our hope is that this experience as public officials, as student representatives to the board, your participation is something that you will take with you beyond the Lodi Unified School District in future leadership opportunities. But we also want to leave you with several gifts. I know you want a poster of yourself, because who doesn't want a poster of themselves? So for each of you, the poster that was out in front of the boardroom, you will take that home and you will put it up on your door at home so everyone in your family remembers how important you really are. Second, the board has a gift for each of you. And this is something for you personally that you can go out and spend a little money on, okay? And then third, because everyone wants a big sign that they can take home, your board sign that you have up front, you get to take that home with you. And so I would like to say thank you on behalf of the Board of Education.
Thank you, Ms. Young. And a perfect way to start into our comments from our student representatives for their final report. Samantha, will you start us off, please, from McNair?
Thank you, President Alexander, members of the board, and Superintendent Young. On April 10th, our health occupation students, alongside the American Red Cross, hosted yet another successful spring blood drive this year. The turnout was amazing, where in total we collected 120 units of blood, and with 120 units collected, we have the opportunity to possibly save 360 lives. We also collected 13 units from African American donors, which will help those with sickle cell diseases. I also want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Young for donating as well, and with his donation, Mr. Young had the opportunity to save 3 lives. Since early March, we've been selling prom ticket sales, and this week is the last week to buy them. So far, we have sold over 280 ticket sales with an estimated over $24,000 made, and we're still selling tickets despite the increase in prices. And our senior class has begun selling their Class of 2026 t-shirts. We started our pre-sale for the shirts 2 weeks ago, and so far have raised over $150 for the senior class. I'd like to give a huge shout out to our McNair staff, teachers, admin, and counselors for helping our students throughout the school year. We couldn't have done it without their efforts in providing us the support that we needed. And a special thank you to our student government, link crew, and our clubs for their hard work and dedication in organizing our incredible events and activities. And now on to our sports. We'd like to congratulate all of our spring sports seniors for all the hard work they've done this season and throughout their high school career. Our baseball team celebrated their senior night last Friday, April 17th. And for our upcoming senior nights, we have tomorrow being boys volleyball, and on Thursday, our softball team. And next Wednesday, we will also be having our badminton senior night as well. And for our upcoming events, since this is the last board meeting that I will be presenting at, I would like to take the time to talk about some of the upcoming events that we will be having to finish off the school year. Tomorrow, April 22nd, McNair will be having their first Love McNair event. Tomorrow, McNair clubs will be joining together to host a huge campus cleanup, which will make our school look a little cleaner and brighter. And on May 1st, student government will be hosting our very last Stafford student event at the end of the year. This time, we'll be having a Stafford student kickball game on the football field. This event is a great opportunity for students and staff to let loose outside of the classroom. Also on May 1st, McNair will be having their first ever decision day to recognize the path each senior will be going on. Whether it's college, military, or other paths, students will be recognized for their future plans and achievements. On May 9th, McNair will be having their prom. This year, our prom theme is A Night in Paris. This year's prom will take place at the beautiful University Plaza Waterfront Hotel. Students will dance the night away, capture memories at the photo booth, and enjoy the stunning scenery the venue has to offer, all while experiencing the elegance and charm of a Parisian evening. And as we near the end of the year, we're going to be having our end of the year Spirit Week and Rally on May 15th. The theme this year is Rio, with our rally being a sunset in Rio. Our Rio themed rally will be full of energy, color, and excitement, bringing festival vibes, great music, and tons of school spirit. On that same day, our leadership classes will also be hosting our end of the year carnival, the Rio Carnival. Students can look forward to a vibrant celebration filled with music, games, food, and colorful decor inspired by the energy and excitement of a Rio Carnival. Our Link Crew and student government will be transforming part of the campus into a lively celebration. This event will also give one last chance for clubs to get out there and participate with their own game booths as well. And for our last event of the year, we have our senior sunset for the class of 2026 on May 22nd. Seniors will all come together to watch the sunset and celebrate the end of their high school journey. Students can relax, take photos, and make lasting memories with friends as they reflect on their time together. And that is all I have to report from McNair. I've had the greatest honor of being McNair's ASB president for the 2025 to 2026 school year. Thank you.
Lucas Crowder from Lodi High School.
Good evening, President Alexander, members of the board, and Superintendent Young. Lodi High would like to acknowledge two students whose quick thinking were instrumental during a medical emergency on campus last week. Allison Frank and Haley Jetty's fast response was greatly appreciated. 9 students and 2 teachers from our partner school in Obersoll, Germany are currently visiting Lodi High for 2 weeks. Students are visiting many classes and giving presentations in classes across campus. Artapalooza was a smash. Thanks to everyone in VAPA department for hosting such an amazing event and showcasing our VAPA students' hard work throughout the year this far. Student government held our prom on April 4th for our juniors and seniors. The theme was pyramids and prom lights. We crowned our prom king and queen, Eli Souza and Sienna Lee. These students participated in the chalk art contest during Artapalooza, and they placed in the top 3 groups. First, Beauty and Mirror by Rosalia Castro, Arlie Rodriguez Guzman, and Vanessa Saldivar. Second, Stay Courageous by Andres Heredia, Sophia Proctor, and Ethan Middleton. Third, Choral Community by Muriel Culia, Raya Castleman, and Madison Cho. The VAPA department are excited to share the recipients of this year's Student Gallery Principals Award, Choice Awards. These students were selected by Dr. Marone in recognition of their outstanding creativity, craftsmanship, and artistic voice. Please join us in congratulating the following winners. Digital Art, Jackson Lestrange; 2D Art, Alexis Alvarez; and 3D Art, Anissa Gomez. In March, Lodi High 9th grader Vida Gonzalez submitted an entry in the American Association of University Women's Essay Writing Contest for San Joaquin County. The theme of the contest submission won 3rd place and was the first LHS winner in 13 years. Vida read aloud her essay at AAUW's March meeting, where she was given a plaque and a special recognition award. Juniors attended a cast assembly to kick off our state testing season. We welcomed 10 therapy dogs from Animal Friends Connection to help elevate the stress of testing, and they will visit again next week. Over 70 students attended the AP Pasta Power-Up Dinner to start off their AP testing season. We heard from experienced AP exam takers, played AP bingo, and enjoyed a pasta dinner together. Students will be testing the first 2 weeks of May. FCCLA is getting ready to go to our state meeting on Friday. They will be participating in family consumer science leadership activities. Lodi High hosted our inaugural stunt tournament April 18th called Battle at the Inferno. Stunt is currently the fastest growing sport, and we had a successful event showcasing the skills and abilities of so many athletes from 6 different teams. Scarlett McGregor and Desio Mendez will be competing at the California High School Speech Association State Tournament this weekend at James Logan High School in Union City. Our boys golf team is currently 8-0 and is hoping to win league this year. We are starting to plan our end of the year activities. We have our senior sunset, senior barbecue, and yearbook signing party, powder puff football game, and goodbye rally all coming up to mark the end of the school year. We look forward to celebrating these events. Lodi High is participating in their 11th year of Love Lodi. Volunteers can still sign up through lovelodi.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Any board comments? Huge thank you for your time this year and wishing you well in your future endeavors. Mr. Nava, you always ask where they're going.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Where are you going to school?
I'm going to be going to the University of Arizona where I'll study real estate.
Awesome.
And I'm going to UC San Diego for human biology.
Science. Way to go.
Good
Congratulations.
luck, you all, both of you.
Thank you.
Next, with your bionic blood,
Yes.
3 people. Superintendent's report, Mr. Young?
Yes, President Alexander, members of the board, some people think I don't have a heart, but based on the fact that I gave blood, you can see otherwise. So, no, it was a great opportunity to join McNair High School. As is tradition, since you have both completed your final report and you have either closed your computer or soon will close your computer, you are welcome to head off into the sunset or to the waves of San Diego or the sand of Arizona. But we thank you for your service, and you are free to go, or you may stay if you so choose. So with my comments, I'd like to bring up a couple things. Last Thursday night, we had an amazing art show celebration. You know, we do spend a lot of time as a district celebrating athletics, which are great. VAPA, specifically music, musicals, or choral, but to celebrate our artists and our extensive art program throughout the district was great. I want to thank Michelle Armstrong from our office, and I want to thank Valerie McPhee for her support. This room was transformed. I know both Mrs. Alexander and Mrs. McFarland were able to join us to celebrate that, but just to see the amazing artists throughout our district was a great opportunity to celebrate. Next, I would like to bring up that this Saturday is Love Lodi, Love Stockton. It goes on throughout the state and the country. But in Lodi, this has been a tradition that the community comes together to volunteer and support many of our schools. And so I'm excited for the opportunity for people to come alongside Lodi Unified School District to support our schools in Lodi. We're hoping in the future that this will grow in Stockton as well, even though they do have Love Stockton. The partnership with our schools has not grown as much as it has in Lodi. And I'd like to point out that the city of Lodi even gave a $7,500 grant specifically for Lawrence School and the partnership to happen not just once a year, but throughout the year. It's just a great partnership. So excited about that. My family will be participating as we have in many years in the past. And I, at Woodbridge, used to take advantage of this as well. But a big thank you to maintenance and operations, because for a day like this to happen, our staff have to give up their Saturday and work to support the efforts that are happening throughout our schools on Love Lodi Day. I'd also like to point out that I will be at Tokay High School. I was voluntold by my wife that we will be going to High School Musical on Friday evening at Tokay. Evidently, I get to spend more time with Troy Bolton than I did when my kids were young and watched that movie over and over and over again. But I'm excited about that Friday evening opportunity. I have nothing else to share other than one final piece, which is, whereas you will see on the calendar, May 19th is a board study session. We will not be having a board study session. That has been officially canceled. And therefore, we will not have a board study session May 19th. We have notified Ansel Adams. We appreciate their willingness, but that won't need to happen after all. We have a lot of things upcoming in the next 5 to 6 weeks with graduations, celebrations, and it will allow schools to focus on those things. So with that, I have nothing further. Back to you.
Thank you. Now for comments from the public. A 20-minute period is allocated for the public to address the board on matters not listed on the agenda. We have more people tonight, and if it's okay with the board, I would like to reduce the comment time to 2 minutes each so that we can get all of our speakers in. Each speaker will be limited then to 2 minutes. If there are numerous speakers, we adjusted it. To share materials with the board, please provide them to the staff for distribution. due to restrictions under the California Brown Act, the board cannot engage in discussion regarding public comments. Please make sure to state your first and last name before starting, and keeping your comments, if we have repetitive comments from numerous people, if somebody has already spoken or addressed, if you can not utilize that over and over and over, if that makes sense, to do that. Students, I always like to start with students first, because they need to get home and study. Not you, Cora, come on. Cora Duncan.
Good evening, President Alexander, Superintendent Young, and members of the board. My name is Cora Duncan, and I am a student at the Tokay High School and a proud member of the Tokay FFA chapter. I'm currently in my 3rd year, going into my 4th year of the program. I was honored to represent our chapter at the Lodi Unified 2-day strategic planning workshop. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to have a seat at the table and speak on behalf of the Agriculture Department. During the workshop, we discussed many ways to improve our schools both for the students and teachers. One important topic at my table was the ratio of teachers to students. I shared my concerns about the workload our teachers are currently facing, especially with our 7-period day. Many teachers are teaching all 7 periods and are not receiving adequate prep time. As students, we notice the difference. By 7th period, both students and teachers are more tired, and it becomes harder to maintain the same level of energy and engagement as earlier in the day. For example, my horticulture teacher and ag leadership teacher, Ms. Freeman, and my woodshop teacher, Mr. Mogler, both teach a full 7 periods. Meanwhile, my soil chemistry teacher, Ms. Shabs, and Mr. McEwen in the metal shop are teaching 6 periods. When you combine the extra workloads across these teachers, it clearly demonstrates that there is enough demand to support an additional ag teacher. Our ag department continues to grow each year with more students wanting to join. However, we do not have enough teachers or classes available to meet that demand. This limits the opportunities for students to want to be involved in ag and CTE program. If Tokay High School were to receive a 5th agriculture teacher, we would already have the space available for them. Adding another teacher would allow us to open up more classes, reduce teachers' workloads, and give more students the chance to participate in valuable hands-on learning experiences. I respectfully ask that the board considers adding a 5th agriculture teacher to Tokay High School. This investment would support both teachers and our students. It would strengthen the program that has already made a meaningful impact. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you. Naomi Bono? I'm sorry if I said that wrong.
President Alexander, Superintendent Young, and members of the board. My name is Naomi Cano, and I am a senior at Tokay High School, as well as a 4-year member of our FFA program. I would like to speak with you tonight in regards to the addition of a 5th agricultural teacher for our Tokay FFA program. Our agricultural teachers are deeply committed to their students. They stay late for practices, arrive early for meetings, and give up their weekends and personal time to support us. This dedication goes far beyond their normal teaching responsibilities and is a major reason that our chapter reflects success and growth. As a student, our FFA program has offered me many great leadership positions and experience throughout my high school years. I feel incredibly fortunate to be supported by such dedicated ag teachers. However, there is a limit to what 4 teachers can realistically manage. This past year alone, our program has grown by 145 students. This increase in membership has placed a large additional workload on them. While our program has gained members, we are reaching a point where further growth is stunted without additional support. Adding a 5th teacher would allow our program to continue to serve its members while maintaining the levels of dedication and involvement that we are known for. In addition to this, it would allow for more classroom opportunities for incoming students to be exposed to agriculture and the many great experiences FFA provides. This change would ensure the needs are met for our growing program. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Becky Freeman?
Good evening. I had planned on 3 minutes, so I'll just email the rest. I'll get through what I can. President Alexander, Superintendent Young, and members of the board. My name is Becky Freeman, and I'm an agriculture teacher at Tokay High. I've been an ag teacher for 22 years, 17 of those at Tokay. In those 17 years, we at Tokay have worked really hard to grow our program from 1 teacher to now 4. I would like to speak to you tonight regarding adding a 5th teacher to our department for next year. So I'm going to lay it all out for you in a little timeline. Last spring, administration knew there would not be enough teachers for moving to a 7-period day. They asked many teachers to be on a 120 for this school year. All 4 of us ag teachers agreed to be a 120, although I don't think we ever should be on a 120 because of our extra responsibilities. But we agreed to do it for 1 year and take one for the team. At that time, we brought up the need to expand the ag program to a 5th teacher. We were told no, due to space availability. Fast forward to the first day of school this year, we noticed that a new art teacher and a home ec teacher had been hired, and they found room for both of those teachers in the industrial arts building, which is where ag is. As soon as school started, it was apparent that there was still not enough sections for all the students on this new 7-period day. 2 of us ag teachers were asked to be on a 140. So if you do the math, that's 6 extra sections being taught in the ag department. Yes, that's more than a whole teacher. Our CTE director even made the comment the first week of school that the extra sections equated to a whole teacher. Since August, we have been advocating for and checking in regularly regarding adding a teacher. We even made a shared Google Doc where we brainstormed what that person would teach and possible classrooms as well as elective courses that we could add in the future. Since that time, there's actually been a classroom that has opened up right next door to me, which would be a perfect spot for an ag department expansion. We also expressed the need to post this opening earlier in the year because most ag jobs are filled mid-spring. Fortunately, we do have a former student teacher that would really love to come back to Tokay to teach, and she's patiently waiting for us to open that position. So then we were told that it goes down to enrollment, or that there's more to this than just enrollment, such as funding. But the district's already funding those section salaries as well as the supplies. As you've heard, we've grown that program from 388 students to 533 without adding the teacher. We keep hearing about equity across the 3 programs in the district, and Lodi was able to hire a 5th teacher for this year, and we have the same enrollment in our FFA program. There are several other excuses that we've been given why we can't add a 5th teacher, but we were given numbers yesterday for next year's enrollment, and we have enough numbers for all 4 of us to teach 7 sections. So I'll email the rest of this to you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Nolan McCowan.
Good evening, President Alexander, Superintendent Young, and members of the board. My name is Nolan McEwen. I'm a 5th-year ag teacher, and I've spent the last 4 years at Tokay High School teaching agriculture mechanics, ag welding, and advanced agriculture mechanics, where I teach students various life skills, such as plumbing, electrical, and then, of course, welding. The backbone of the construction industry is going to be fed by the students that come out of classes like mine. I also serve as an advisor and a coach for Tokay FFA, where I coach 3 opening and closing teams, multiple impromptu public speaking students, multiple extemporaneous public speaking students, over 20 student lamb exhibitors, and a team of active ag welding students who consistently place at welding contests across the state. This year, the agriculture department at Tokay has far exceeded the threshold for adding a 5th teacher. Throughout the 25-26 school year, all 4 teachers were asked to be 120, and 2 of the 4 are on a 140. With our program numbers at 533, and more than a quarter of the campus coming through the ag department in a given day, we think it's time for an expansion. This year, admin is determined to avoid adding a 5th teacher by overloading my classroom to do it. Next year, they expect me to teach 38 4th-year students in a single class period, 59 first-year students across 2 classes, leading to an unsafe and an unfeasible environment. Course numbers affect funding for agriculture programs, meaning that admin's attempt to force course offerings down by increasing student numbers in each class will result in thousands of dollars lost to each of the students. This money helps cover the cost of materials and consumables needed to teach students how to be successful. And projects are not cheap, and costs increase yearly. Shop safety is also a high priority, as we teach students how to use equipment reflected in the agriculture and construction industry. And if class sizes are increased too much, safety becomes compromised. With the proposed increase in class sizes from admin, I will have an even greater challenge of ensuring a quality education for all of my students. For example, having only 6 welding machines to service my class of currently 24 students, meaning that each student is allotted approximately 8 minutes per day to practice their welds. Well, you know the rest, you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Jesse Chavez?
President Alexander, Superintendent Young, and members of the board. Pardon me if it looks like I just came from a barn, because I did. I spent the last 3 hours at the Tokay High School School Farm where I was working with countless students on their projects. Also in that time, I had to get my 2-year-old home to his dad so he can be in bed at a reasonable time. Hi, my name is Jessie Shavs. I'm an 8th year agriculture teacher, all of which has been at Tokay High School. I'm here tonight to speak on student numbers in agriculture classes. I know you've heard a lot from the students that I teach and my fellow teaching partners, so I'll keep it short. We as the ag teachers have enough students to justify adding a 5th teacher, but administration refuses to add another for various reasons that you've already heard. One ramification that I would like to talk on this evening is the increased student to teacher ratio in career technical education classes. Classes that are meant to be hands-on and engaging and teach real-life applicable skills. It makes it extremely difficult to teach those classes when you have more students than you have seats. Just this morning, we were sent proposed sections and numbers. I will be on a 120 for the 2nd year in a row, and just for my introduction to agriculture classes, which is my freshman, I have 90 students signed up. But I will only be getting 2 sections. If you do the math, that is 45 students across 2 classes in a science classroom. Having that many students in a science classroom is beyond unsafe and just not equitable to all of our students of varying needs. We also apply for special grant funding, part of which is based on student class sizes. As you just heard, we do not meet those requirements and we are losing out of thousands of dollars that would directly go to our students and our program because of our class sizes. By adding a 5th ag teacher, class sizes can be reduced and we can have more meaningful lessons and students will be safer. With all this being said, I invite you all to come see the success and growth we have built at our ag department at our open house on May 21st from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Amy Blah? I'm sorry about name pronunciation.
Good evening. My name is Amy Blagg. I am here tonight in support of the Tokay High School Agriculture Department. I'm a parent of a current junior and an incoming freshman in the program. I'm also an alumni of the Tokay Ag program, serve as the FFA Boosters president, and represent the local wine grape industry as a member of the Tokay Ag Advisory Committee. The department is currently led by 4 advisors, all of whom are teaching extra periods due to the growth and interest in this program and the transition to a 7-period day. The anticipated numbers for the upcoming school year more than support the addition of an additional teacher, and that is where we ask for your help. It is unsustainable to ask 4 teachers to carry the workload of 5 or 6 individuals. It's unfair to turn away students from their desired courses that are directly tied to their future goals and success, or to place them in an overcrowded classroom. Anyone familiar with ag education understands that this is much more than an 8 to 3 o'clock job. These advisors are helping students with their projects, coaching teams, supporting leadership activities, and more. They do it because of their passion for their profession and their desire to provide opportunities to students. But teaching at 140% plus, these outside responsibilities will lead to burnout and is unfair to the teachers and the students. Like Cora mentioned, I also had the opportunity to participate in the strategic plan session. I found it to be enjoyable and productive. While I have not seen a finalized strategic plan, there were a few items that rose to the top. Those included support teachers, support career technical education, expedite the hiring process in this district, provide hands-on learning and real-world experiences for these students. Each of those goals could be met by supporting an additional ag teacher at Tokay High School.
Thank you. Colette V. Valero, sorry.
name is Colette Valero, and I'm a parent of a student at Victor Elementary. I am here today because I am deeply concerned that the professional and academic standards of our district are not being met. Classroom or the district. As listed in the paper parent handbook by LUSD, the district vision statement reads as follows. Lodi Unified School District, in partnership with our community, provides a world-class, student-centered, safe learning environment that cultivates character, fosters academic excellence, embraces diversity, and empowers all students to achieve their potential. I don't think that this is being met. First, I must address the instructional materials being used. My son, that is African American, along with his peers, were assigned to read Freedom Walkers out loud in class, which contains clear examples of hate speech, specifically the N-word in full context. This content displayed on page 64 of Freedom Walkers, presented without proper framing, creates a hostile school environment. Furthermore, this same classroom was shown a video containing explicit sexual content. This material does not serve any academic goal and raises concern of possible grooming behavior. Has publicly humiliated multiple children.
Excuse me, just real quick, we would ask if you have concerns for sure, we would ask that you would not name an individual involved with that. So please keep it general, that would be appreciated.
Has publicly humiliated multiple children, including calling out students' personal failures in front of peers. This behavior constitutes verbal harassment and professional misconduct. Due to these issues involving systemic failures, potential civil rights concerns, and sexual content, I have already begun the process of notifying the local news media and will be contacting the NAACP to ensure full transparency and accountability in how this is handled.
Excuse me, for sake of time, please.
With academic excellence is a priority and every student is treated with dignity.
Thank you.
Shanna Long.
Hi, I'm Shanna Long, and I am representing Victor Elementary as well. My 6th grader goes there. I have emailed all of you my concerns, and my son actually asked to write his own speech for me to read to you tonight. So it starts, a very bad teacher can make school a terrible place for students. Some examples are a teacher who is rude, lazy, and acts inappropriate in class. Instead of teaching lessons clearly, the teacher wastes time, makes mean comments, and does not care if students understand the work. Another problem is when the teacher behaves unprofessionally. They may yell, use disrespectful language, tell embarrassing jokes, show inappropriate YouTube videos, or talk about things that do not belong in the classroom. This can make students feel uncomfortable and distracted from learning. A bad teacher also does not help students when they need it. They may ignore questions, give unfair grades when they lose their work, or choose favorites. Students may begin to dislike school because they do not feel respected or supported. If you agree with these statements represented as a bad teacher, then you agree that this teacher in question is a bad teacher. She has not helped me in any way this year. I have to seek help from other teachers that I have had in the past. I have become depressed and do not like to go to school. We do not matter to her. In conclusion, teachers should be kind, responsible, and professional. A teacher who is rude and inappropriate can harm students' learning and make the classroom a negative environment. And that was from my son.
Thank you.
Michael Long.
Hello, my name is Michael Long. Again, you have all seen this video. And I am just flat disgusted and mad. You're gonna hear a lot of concerns from other parents coming behind me. We have made several complaints throughout this entire school year about this specific individual, and nothing is done. And I am just flat mad. We really need something to happen because this is unacceptable for our children. As an adult, if that video would have been shown in my office, I would have been terminated. She is still allowed in the classroom with my child. That is absolutely unacceptable. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Courtney Ford.
Good evening, President Alexander, Superintendent Young, and members of the board. My name is Courtney Ford, and as a parent, our first responsibility is to protect our children. Not only their safety, but their ability to learn, grow, and feel safe in the classroom. I believe in the importance and respect of teachers. However, respect does not mean silence when a child's education and safety are being impacted by the very person who is in charge of it. When something isn't working in the classroom, it is a parent's job to speak up. The first day I had to speak up for my son was 8 school days into the school year. That's all it took for my husband and I to realize something was not right. From then until now, it has been obvious that this teacher is incapable of teaching and holding a classroom full of 6th grade students in their most important year of their elementary school journey. On April 14th, it was brought to our attention that my son and his classmates were a victim of sexual harassment. While some may not feel this is a crime, as a mother, this is a crime. Appalling now that this teacher is still able to be in the classroom, even under investigation. To be shown a sexually explicit video at a place where he is to learn and to feel safe from a responsible adult is a clear indication this teacher is no longer able to hold her credentials. For him to not even be able to fully comprehend the significance of this video means he, along with his classmates, are victims of the highest standard. Where was the permission from parents to allow her to show this? He's a child. He's my child. And the role of being his protector was ignored and not thought twice about. These are underage children, and exposure to that type of content in a school setting is not appropriate and raises significant concerns about judgment, supervision, and respect to school policies. It needs to be viewed for what it is. When instruction lacks clarity, when communication is inconsistent, and the result is not just academic struggle, it is a loss of confidence and a love for learning. Protecting our children should be held to a higher degree than what has been shown to us this last week. Do more for our children. They deserve the protection. Thank you.
Thank you. Amanda Byrne.
Good evening, President Alexander, Superintendent Young, and members of the board. I am Amanda Byrne, and my son is a student at Victor Elementary. Elementary at Lodi Unified for me was always a place of creative learning, led by teachers who understood the impact of their job, not only to teach children academically, but to enrich their lives as human beings. As parents at Victor, we see that things have changed, and now it's test scores over extracurriculum and enrichment, and that's something that we have learned to accept, but having an unfit teacher at the helm is something we simply cannot. Our children's teacher this year has proven time and again that she's incapable of not only guidance and enrichment, but of the sheer basics required of her to perform her job. Our children are not only not learning as they should, they have not been being kept safe under her care and leave school at the end of the day confused and stressed. Appropriate steps and action have been taken on our part as parents, and every parent in this class has now made complaints to both the site and the district. But the final straw came when she did show the inappropriate and sexually suggestive video on school time and property. And she continues to teach today while under investigation. This is completely inappropriate, and now our children are forced to endure chaos to close out their 6th grade year. This is the most pivotal year in their academic lives thus far, and we as parents are frustrated that it feels as if she has continued to be protected and so are her rights without transparency while our minors are left unsupported in her care. What message is this sending to our community and to our children? That we should take it or leave it? This feels unacceptable, and frankly, parents are done accepting it. We really hope change will come soon and that the district remembers what we're all here for, and that is not job security. That is to teach, protect, and help enrich all children in this district. That is the main thing, all children in this district. They spend half of their lives under your care, and they are required to, and they deserve a chance to become adults who can successfully function as part of society, and it is our job just as much as yours. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Young, would you take a moment to maybe meet with those parents out in the hallway and just, if you have specific questions to ask him, and just,
Sure.
and just address the people that took the time out of their evening to come and share their concerns.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Michelle Orgon.
Good evening, President Alexander, members of the board. Great to see you. And a couple of things tonight. It does take a village to raise our kids and to educate and inspire them. And there are many people that come and touch the lives of our students in different ways. And I just want to take a moment, long overdue, unfortunate emergency things at home kept me from the last board meetings. I'd like to give a certificate and some pictures to Mrs. McFarland and Mr. Stroud. Thank you so much for coming to Needham, reading to our students, spending some time asking those questions that we all ask second graders about reading and enjoying, school and life and what they're going to be. My kids thoroughly enjoyed all the guest readers we had. Thank you, Mrs. McFarland, for the book, The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. Great conversations about perspective and opinion and what the facts really are, as my students now talk about in other books. So thank you for bringing that. I do have some pictures and certificates for you. I also want to ask and invite all board members, of course, to come to Needham. We love to showcase our school site. I understand that Mr. Stroud was able to come by and see our special play production with the Missoula Children's Theater just last week. Our student actors and directors and cast members got a week to work with the theater group after school and then perform on Saturday 2 performances. So we love these opportunities to give students another experience at school and want to thank you very much for that. And sharing your time, wisdom, and talents. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next, we'll have comments from employee group representatives. The representatives from each employee group will have 3 minutes to comment on non-agendized items.
Good evening, President Alexander. I would say Mr. Young, but he's out of the room, members of the board. We had parents come up and talk about safety, and I would kind of like to expand on that. The first thing I want to talk about is the district cell phone policy. And I am unfortunately finding that this policy is not being enforced in all of ours, at all of our sites. We have board policy 5131.8 and the Phone Free Student Act of AB 3216, which spurred that. I was recently on the VRA and independent school joint campus. And walked around and kids, I had my ID on. I always wear my ID when I'm on a school site. And there were several students with their cell phones out. Saw me walking around as an adult with my badge on. Didn't put it away. Some of them met my eyes, some of them acknowledged me. Still had their cell phones out. And when I mentioned it to them, they said, oh, well, they don't care here. This has caused some issue where I had a teacher tell me that they have a student recording other students during recess. There is some evidence that a student is recording a teacher in her classroom. And a parent filed a complaint to Child Protective Services based on something this teacher supposedly said in the classroom. And even today, there was I got a complaint from another teacher saying that there was a student making TikTok videos on the campus during lunch, recording other students. Now this puts a liability on you as the district, because if those parents that the student was recording have not agreed to have their student recorded, much less have it posted on social media, that could be a problem, because it's happening during school hours and on the school campus. So I want you to be aware of that. And there have been other sites I've had. This was the most egregious. This was just insane. It was every other student had their cell phone out. It was crazy. I have talked to the principal there. I actually sent a follow-up email from a meeting I had last week to see if he has done anything about reminding students about this policy and beginning to enforce it. I have not heard back. Another safety issue we have is with our students, specifically special ed students, and primarily this is happening at our Turner campuses. We have had teachers that have been assaulted by students, and it is becoming a problem. I've talked to the principal there. They don't even have money in their budget for the teachers to get the sleeves to help their arms for some of these students. We know they have behavioral issues. They understand that. They have dealt with this. But what they're telling me is this is more than they've ever had in their entire careers. And these are teachers who have taught there for years and years, even over a decade. They're not given the protective equipment they need. They are being asked, told that, well, this is, you know that this is the population. If you don't like it, go someplace else. That's not the right thing to say to these parents. What I'm afraid of is that this is now changing the culture of the school, where it's now becoming, instead of sending a child to a more restrictive environment or placement, we're putting them to Turner. And what it's doing is when these teachers have to use a CPI hold on a child, it's not just a teacher by themselves. They're usually taking their parents and everyone else, and that means all the other kids in the class are not being educated because they're focusing on this one child who is having an outburst. It's not fair to those teachers, it's not fair to those students. We've got to support the teachers, we've got to give them the protective gear at least. One of them said, gosh, I just, I went and met with them, I couldn't leave their arms, the bruises, the scratches. Why can't we get them those protective sleeves? I've been told there's nothing in the budget to do that. So I really want you to consider when you're placing these kids what the best placement is. I understand FAPE. I'm going to be real honest. My son was in a non-public school when he was younger, and I understood why. But don't turn Turner into a substitute for a non-public school. That's not what they should be doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young. Rodrigo Contreras, CSEA Lodi 77 President. We at CSEA are starting to have concerns over the implementation of contracting ESS for substitutes. We are hearing that Lodi Unified will in-house ESS personnel. These are our jobs. What is the reason that Lodi Unified has been having issues with hiring substitute positions? The only reason I can think of is wages. This now gives those needed wages to a for-profit company, not the workers. The hiring and calling of substitutes has historically been performed by classified employees of the district. We believe that having dedicated staff for the purposes could have remedied the situation and been able to hire and maintain substitutes for these temporary situations. We have started dialogue with Assistant Superintendent Church to express our concerns. We desire to be able to work together to accomplish a real solution. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have public comments on consent agenda A. The public may address the board on consent agenda A, routine business. Each public speaker shall limit comments to 3 minutes. Please state first and last name before starting.
Good evening again. I forgot to give my name last time. President Alexander, members of the board, Lisa Wilkins, LEA president. Yes, I want to talk about item A2, the ESS contract. I still have concerns about ESS, the ESS contract. First, I don't think public money should be used in companies, or we should be paying money as a public entity to a company owned by a private equity firm, which ESS is. Secondly, my teachers are telling me that their former paras won't work for ESS, and these are paras that they've worked for, they've had relationships with, the kids have relationships with, but they won't work for them because they don't pay as well, and also they have more requirements than Lodi had when we hired them directly. So positions are going unfilled, and this is creating safety issues again in our classroom. So yeah, I'd really like us to look at why we're spending money with ESS West. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be brief because I'm not, my first time here.
Please state your name.
My name's Michael Karuba. I'm from the city of Lodi, or I live in the city of Lodi. So, and I was gonna have really nice things to say. You really would have loved to hear what I had to say. But your agenda doesn't say anything about filling out a card. When I went back there as a first-time guest, it said a green card. There's no green cards. There's a red card. And so I was confused. And you had a lot of people talking about the same 2 items. And you closed the public comment without asking if there's anyone else. And so that's what I wanted to say. I'm actually not here for Schedule A. So is there any chance I could squeeze something in or give something time sensitive?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
So,
normally, so the understanding is that you fill out the card and that's what we pull out.
it's not clear, so.
No, we'll
Yeah.
make sure that absolutely, you may have your time.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm a very happy consumer of the Lodi Unified School District. It's not perfect, but I have 2 children that are gainfully employed thanks to the school district. My son graduated Lodi High in 2017. His name was Cole Karuba. He graduated from UC Davis, managerial economics. And my daughter graduated in 19, graduated from the University of Arizona, where that young man's going to go from also Lodi High. So anyway, my son, who's very patriotic about where we live, and called me late today, and I was working late, which is, believe me, it's very unusual. And he said, hey, there's this program with Meta, and hopefully the superintendent, you guys have heard about it, but in the event that you haven't, he said, Dad, this would be a great thing, because for those who aren't going to college, there's a program called Level Up Fiber Technology Pathway. Has anyone heard about that? So Meta is working with CBRE to provide a 4-week training process for people who have high school educations or people want changes in their life, because there's an enormous need for fiber technicians at AI centers and around the country because of everything that's going on. So I just wanted to leave this with someone in the event that you did. I made copies for all of you in the event. And hopefully, and I talked to JP Doucette at the Chamber of Commerce at an event tonight. Thank you, sir. And hopefully some of our kids can get a good job working for Meta with a high school education. So thank you very much, and thanks for all you do.
Appreciate
You're very
it.
welcome. Thank you.
Next, would any board or staff like to pull any of the items on consent agenda A?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Quick. Motion made by Mr. Porter, seconded by Mr. Nava. No student vote, board vote, please. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Public comments on consent agenda B. Public may address the board on consent agenda B, student matters. Each public speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes. Are there any public comments on consent agenda B?
Second.
Who got the first? Mr. Navas?
Who was second?
And who's second? Dr. Ball?
Thank you.
Thank you. Board vote? Motion passes 7-0. Public comments on other action items. The public may address the board on other action items. Each public speaker shall limit comments to 3 minutes. Are there any public comments on other action items? Other action items, items OAI-1. Mrs. Holbert.
Good evening, President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young. Before you this evening is a resolution for your mitigated negative declaration for Samuel M. Gantner.
Board comments.
Move we approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Nava, second by Ms. McFarland. Board vote.
While they're voting, Mrs. Holbert, can you clarify when we expect to break ground at Samuel M. Gantner?
We're currently looking at June. I believe the board members received a groundbreaking invitation. We had some feedback on that particular date, so we may make some adjustments, but June.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a quick one. Can I bring my sparkle shovel?
Of course you can.
Okay, just
Of
wanted
course.
to
Bring your gloves too.
Yes, okay. Board vote, motion passed 7-0. Any public comments on reports?
Hello again, President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young, now you're here. Rodrigo Contreras, CSEA, Lodi 77 President. We would like to thank everyone involved in realizing that the Lodi Unified has a problem with the grounds and irrigation throughout the district and needs a solution. We support the approval of this report and implementation. Even though that it's not perfect, we realize that it's an acknowledgement and a start. We have expressed concern that there is no mention of the maintenance 3 irrigation that was added in the facilities and planning and maintenance and operations reorganization. This position is crucial for this successful. I'm sure that we can still work this position out in the impacts and effects and negotiations with the district of the study and grounds report. We at CSEA look forward in providing the students, staff, and the community of Lodi Unified with beautiful and safe campuses to be proud of. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Next, reports. Ms. Holbert again.
President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young. Before you this evening is the ground study recommendation that we are bringing back for consideration. Next slide. So just a quick recap. Back in February, we presented the ground study findings to the board. The board did direct me to meet with the ground staff members on developing a recommendation, which I have, and through multiple meetings, I am bringing forward the following recommendation. Next slide. So before we get to the recommendation, just some feedback from the grounds crew. Obviously, more staff members so they can spend more time at the school campuses. The groundskeepers also expressed an interest in advancement opportunities within the grounds area, and also identified that irrigation responsibilities should be dedicated positions. And finally, the desire for training and professional development opportunities related to irrigation work. So taking into consideration the feedback from the grounds crew, looking at the grounds study, I bring forward to you the following recommendation. It's over a 3-year period, and the first year would be 1 groundskeeper position, 2 groundskeeper/irrigation technician positions, which are a new classification, and then also converting 1 existing M3 position to a lead irrigation plumbing assistant. And that is a vacant position. It is different from the position that was previously mentioned. And in the 27-28 year, looking at 2 groundskeeper and an irrigation specialist, and in the out year 28-29, adding 2 additional groundskeepers. So I bring this recommendation forward to you. I am open for questions and also guidance.
And point of clarification, board, we would not bring this back next meeting for action. Instead, we would use the LCAP, and we would include this in the LCAP, and it would be for your formal vote when we bring that in June.
Questions? Yes.
So for clarification, and that would be just, was that for all schools or was that just limited to the high schools?
These positions would support all schools. The high schools do have dedicated staff already, but this is to allow the current groundskeepers who go from site to site to spend more time at those sites, and then also to address some irrigation work as well.
Any other questions, comments?
No, I just want to say it looks great. My concern is if we find that we need more, will we get an additional report after we see how this goes? I'm assuming this is firm for right now, but if we get into this and will we be checking up on this? Will we be reevaluating in 6 months something so we know that we've hit our mark on the 26, 27, and we don't need to expedite?
Yes.
Sorry, I probably want to spend more money.
Yes.
She wanted to look at me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Holbert. Next, board advisory committee reports. Does anybody have any reports that they've been to?
Okay, I'll add on.
Okay,
if you miss it.
I did. Joe started charter school. Mr. Stroh and I went to our advisory committee. It was, we have one more meeting before the end of the year, and basically we just went over normal things that happen at a school, PTA fundraisers, TK roundup. They had 42 applications for TK, which is the most crazy. They're expanding. They talked about with those type of numbers that they're really talking about a TK playground. I know this is probably something you've heard about. So they're really focusing in on that. And then they have 13 students getting ready to take the AP exam, Spanish exam, excuse me, because they are a Spanish immersion school. So it was very interesting. I can't wait to see what happens on May 20th, our next quick meeting. Anything that I have forgotten, Mr. Stroh?
I did. The fundraiser was good, like I said. Except the rain came and they kind of squeezed a little bit in the barn they were using.
Squishy, little squishy.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Comments from the board members. Dr. Bala, would you like to start us off, please?
to say. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Porter.
I have nothing to say. Oh, Mr. Young asked that we have a 2x2 with the city. So if that can be set up, I believe Mr. Stroh and I are on the committee. We'd be glad to work with the city.
We will set that up.
Okay.
Nice. Mr. Nava?
Yes, I'd just like to mention to Mr. Young, the Tokay FFA, the overload of kids. Do we have some type of resolve there?
Mr. Lambert will work with Mr. Avalos and look at the staffing at each school site and look at the course request interests of our students, and they will work together.
Ms. McFarland. Awesome.
Mr. Young had already mentioned it, but I just wanted to talk about the art show for just 1 minute. Thank you to Valerie, and thank you to Michelle. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to go through. This is, and got kids, thank you. The amount of work that goes into just the pamphlet and arranging the 4 professionals that come and judge. I mean, this is an incredible amount of work besides the talented students that we have. So thank you for all that you guys do, because I know it's not easy to put those things on. I also wanted to make a comment about the wonderful additional course selections that have been coming to us. I had a chance to talk to Dr. Workman. He clarified for me that while we have more exciting courses coming, they're not intended for every site. So that was one of my concerns, and it wasn't warranted enough to pull the action item, but I wanted to let the rest of the board know that I had lots of questions about them when I spoke with him, and I like the fact that we are tailoring and bringing in lots of course selections to fit our students. And there's a variety of schools that need those, but we're not adding each and every one of those classes at each and every site. So I love that we're tailoring it to fit our students. So thank you to you and your team. Appreciate it.
Ms. Slenderman.
I've got nothing, I'm exhausted.
Busy. Mr. Stroh.
I'm going to be a little long-winded tonight. I'm usually not. Well, we got to get to 8:30. Okay. First of all, I said I was going to do a book thing, and I actually finished today. I got other stuff happen this week, but probably a third of the people in the district know the woman who lent this to me. She's been teaching here forever, Janine Jacinto, and running programs and everything. It's called Last Child in the Wood, and it's the importance of being outside in nature. And he's really stressed the point. It's about 20 years old, but things haven't changed as much between 20 years ago and the 20 years previous. So it's fairly up to date. And how important unstructured play is, and talking about things that are problems about it, litigation. But anyway, it's a good book if you're interested in that for mental health for kids and adults. And it talks a lot about soft education. And one of my favorite quote in there was one Einstein had up in his room. I don't think it was his office, I think at Princeton. But anyway, not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. So some stuff does not show up on a standardized test right. Okay, the other thing is I finally visited all the elementary schools in the district. Joe unless there wasn't one on the front page, but I think I did. Got to know most of the principals. And I finally got to visit Joe Cerna during school hours rather than just after school meetings. And I visited a lot of my kids' teachers. And a couple of teachers had my dad at Delta in the past, so that was kind of fun. It was fun reading at different schools. I guess got some nice thank you things there, and I got some other thank you cards. I read a couple different ones, and that's kind of really fun for me because I haven't done that for years. And I also saw the play, The Tortoise and the Hare and the Tortoise, and it's about working together, and the kids learned it in a week, and they were the younger elementary things, and it was good. I was able to go at the very last minute on a Saturday. And then I went to the blood drive when I visited McNair. I didn't give blood because I didn't know what was going on that day, and I had another school to visit right afterwards. But I did see the blood drive, the JROTC, and also the cooking program, which I thought was really good, and I really liked the way the guy was teaching it, and we were talking. And then the program right after that I went to was the autism program at Sutherland School, and William, who's usually here, was the MC and did a good job. And I'm not going to say the kid's name, but he was the reference books for teachers having a contest on geography. The kid just knew all the answers. He didn't look it up. After he was done crawling on the floor in the back, went up to the stage and was giving all the answers. It was really neat to see a different kind of knowledge, I guess. And then also at a couple schools I went to, it was fun because we talked about this. Fun to see the team teaching going on, and it was really team teaching and not two teachers swapping off. They were really working together with different groups, and kind of blurred with all the different schools' names, but these were the North Stockton schools. And the other thing is kind of mixed personal and school board. I'm really glad the way the staff reacted at Lodi High School. I'll say Todd's name. A lot of us are personal friends with him. Neil's good. They do music together. I've seen him do it. And I'm really glad that the district, the staff and students got to it right away, and they saved his life. And I appreciate it. So I'm going to put on a different hat right now. I probably should have done this during open comments. Real quick. Because
Where's the hat? Oh, there you go.
Cog I've only known him like 12 or 13 years, that's fairly new for me, but he's really become one of my closest friends, and he was teasing me for this hat, looking like a St. Mary's hat. It's my kid's out in Colorado. We went mountain biking during the heat wave, so I think it was the second week of the school break, and if this would have happened, had his heart incident, where we were out saying he would have died, even if I could have given him CPR, because we had no phone communication or anything. And from his wife, she really wanted me to reach out and thank the 2 young ladies, and I don't have their names down, or if I should even say it, but they should really be commented on their quick actions. It's hard for me to get through here, because she really believes that's what saved Todd's life. I already thanked the Ostermans, because they live by my parents. They stopped by. There were 2, Marcio Marcini, I went to school and thanked him. And I missed, I think Brian Fenn, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. He also did CPR, and the staff got the little defibber there in the minutes. It was great. I went on Friday, the staff and, the staff and students were wearing t-shirts to support Todd, so were people at other schools. And I wore a shirt that he actually got me at a concert for my birthday a couple of years ago. And I'm hoping he gets well soon, because he usually drives at night because I don't like it. And I have 2 sets of tickets for concerts in May on my phone right now. And so I want to reach out to all the people and just, thanks for saving one of my best friends. Anyway, okay, I did it.
Thank you, Mr. Stroh. I just wanted to quickly mention the Math Olympiad that Mr. Nava and Ms. McFarland and I attended last Saturday, giving out the awards to those mathletes, and thank Dr. Adrian Go and Matt Harris for a job. Wow. They started doing a tiebreaker and were reading the questions out loud, and I was already going, you got me. So, wonderful day, great to see all our mathletes, and Miss Connie took it. Last year, I guess she was second, and she took it this year, so girl power, sorry. Tomorrow is Earth Day. Let's remember we get one planet. Let's celebrate it every day, not just on that day. Pick up trash, help each other. And Mr. Porter, I am sorry, we are a minute over. Meeting adjourned.